Hey everybody, this is Tappy,
And this is Amazing Flying Poo.
and welcome to episode 2 of Pocket Moon Podcast. We're going to try and make this one a one-parter, unlike the confusing two-parter of episode 1.
Yeah, no hour and a half podcast this time.
No, we're gonna try and not mimic the Harry Potter movies and just more standard length. So we have a full agenda, and we're going to start going through what we've got here for you. So first up is our news section. We'll start off with the most important platform, which is the PSP. No, I'm kidding.
We got big news on both platforms.
We do have big news on both.
Exciting week.
Yes, it has been a pretty big week. So the good news for the PSP, for LBP PSP, is that the Yuletide Sack Pack is out. That came out, I believe, last week. And that is just a costume and sticker
Did you
pack.
get that?
I did, of course. I jumped on it.
Yeah, as usual, I'm terrible with the costume pack. So, is that going to be? Is any of the costume DLC limited time like it is on PS3, or is it all just permanent?
It's all permanent. It's it comes with stickers too. So I'm a sucker for that. If it comes with stickers, if it comes with anything in addition to costumes, I'm buying it. But if it's only costumes, I probably wouldn't.
Okay.
But no, it's up there permanently, not a seasonal thing. So that's the good news. And the bad news, would you like to say the bad news?
Bad news is that they announced there will be no more DLC for the PSP, which that could bode very badly for the PSP version of LittleBigPlanet.
Yeah, that's pretty. It's pretty sad. I mean, we knew it had to happen at some point. They did say when the game came out that they had DLC planned to the end of 2010, and it's the end of 2010, so we can't be all that upset.
I actually expected the DLC to end a little earlier than it did, though. I mean, no matter what, it really sucks when it finally happens. I mean, I'm surprised at how well they supported it. So
I know, they did a great job. They did a fantastic job, as a matter of fact. I think they did, and Ace Creator has been really, really good from Cambridge Studio, about just being connected with the community in general and just kind of being around. So just really, really awesome job all around for that, and hey, some of the best creators out there don't have any DLC still. I don't want to name any names just because I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but some of the...
That's a really good point. I think we ran into that working on Kindred, right?
Yes, exactly. I'll just say that there's a couple of the creators on page 1 of highest rated that have no DLC. So I'll let you...
Which causes a huge headache when you're trying to share levels through the, what is it, Moon Way?
I called it the Magic Crater method.
There you go.
Which is, I knew that I was going to hate that name as soon as they come up with it, and it stuck.
Everyone has to have the same DLC, so whoever has the most DLC has no problem, but then anybody else that does it, if you add that DLC to it, then nobody else who has less DLC than you can create. So anyway, this no more DLC. Do you think this is like signs of in half a year they're going to shut down the PSP servers or anything?
If anything about the LBP, I'll call it business model, points to its continuity, I don't think they're going to shut it off. I would be shocked if they shut it off in 3 years.
Wow, really?
Well, they're still promoting LBP as like a free game you get when you buy a Go.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't imagine they would, or it's like SOCOM. They're not going to shut off the SOCOM servers anytime soon, right? Even though SOCOM 3 has been out for a while. So I don't think that it's the ongoing upkeep of that web space or that the virtual space is really that much. So I would hope that it stays up for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully.
I would hope so too, or that there's some way. I don't know how they get the levels out of that game and into something else, but it would really suck to lose all of that.
Yeah, it would suck. But hey, as long as we have it downloaded locally, I still have a record of what I made once. So for DLC for the PS3, there really wasn't much. I don't have any. I think the last thing that was out is still the Marvel pack, the Marvel costumes.
When did that come out?
Oh, that was months ago.
Oh, so that's that same Marvel pack that was like back when I was in China?
Yeah.
Wow. So it's just, I guess they just cut off all these DLC until LBP2.
Well, yeah, they were. I think originally they were probably. I mean, this stuff takes months to plan, right? And I think they were planning to have LBP2 out in November, so they probably cut back development of DLC, like say during the summer, because it takes that long to get this stuff licensed and made, and at least that long. So I just happen to think it's an artifact of, oops, next version of the game isn't out yet, which is why they've extended the beta and they've done all that stuff to keep people busy. So, so there hasn't been any new DLC for PS3 version unless you count the beta, in which case that's pretty big DLC.
And a lot of people got prehistoric moves too. So. And
prehistoric moves, yeah.
Which I guess that's more news, is the fact they sent out the prehistoric move codes. So that was everyone on LBP, or not LBP, everyone on PlayStation Plus. And then was it everyone that was in the beta? Is that how they picked the other people?
That's a good question. I know I got the code. I know you got the code.
And I'm not a Plus member, and you aren't either, are you?
I'm not, no. I would like to be, except that I know I wouldn't use it. I mean, I don't have time to, in our last podcast we talked about, I don't have time to play the games that I do have. So, what an elegant way to sell me a Move controller, though.
Yeah.
Because the first thing I thought of was, oh my gosh, I have to get one now. Of course, I've told everybody, I've told Santa that I would like a Move controller, so now I can't buy one.
Yeah, I was so excited about getting that code, so I went and used it, because I knew you needed the Move controller to play. I just figured I could go into the game and get stuck, because I knew you had to rotate platforms or whatever. Mm-hmm. But you couldn't even load the game, so I was super bummed when I finally downloaded the whole thing, and then I wasted that code. But I'll get a Move controller someday and play that.
Oh, well, I mean, you have it. You have it. And hey, they're only, $40, $50, I think.
Yeah.
It's worth it. You can afford it. Just don't eat for a week. It'll be fine. Let's see. Holiday sale is still going on PlayStation Store. The Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker that we talked about last time, they've redone the price point on that one. So instead of half off, they now have it bundled. You can get it for, I don't know what the euro prices are, but I think it's $30 US. You can get it bundled with either the digital graphic novel of Metal Gear Solid, or bundled with Portable Ops or Portable Ops Plus. And that is really a heck of a deal. And if you've never played Portable Ops, I highly, highly recommend it. It is a fantastic game. Even if you don't have a PSP, you should get one just for that. And then Peace Walker, of course, is epic.
Mm-hmm. I played Portable Ops, but I haven't played Peace Walker yet. But I'm excited to play that someday when I actually have time again.
Yeah, I know. Whenever that may be. That'll be eventually.
And I think the last big piece of news is that LBP.me went live yesterday?
Yes, it did. Or the day before, I think.
Okay.
Or I'm not actually sure. It'll be a few days ago by the time everybody hears this, but I just went on and started playing with that. Man, that's fantastic.
I think I was more excited about that than I was actually about LittleBigPlanet 2 before I got to try LittleBigPlanet 2. And even still, I think little LBP.me could mean so much but just being able to follow your level, see how it's doing. Now you can see everyone that's played the level, how they rated it, read your comments. I mean, all without having to boot up the PS3. You can be at work and be a terrible employee and check that out every once in a while. It's just
it really allows you to stay immersed in the game. And from a developer standpoint, hey, what better way to keep people involved than to let them play even when they're not playing, right? They did something like that with Gran Turismo, by the way. They quietly released online functionality of the community feature. So you have a profile page, and of your friends that have the game, you can view their profile pages. And it's kind of like a Facebook thing. You can post on their wall, and you can share pictures and view their progress in the game and stuff. And they just they took that, and you can go online. It's GranTurismo.com and log in and view all that stuff. So. And it's really cool. You can view each other's pictures and stuff. So it's the same sort of thing. It's nice to see Sony going towards this sort of a format where you can stay up to date, when you're at lunch at work. So I actually am, for the first time probably since the Paintinator, I am jealous of the PS3 version of LittleBigPlanet from the PSP point of view. I really want that for the PSP levels. I don't ever see it happening, but
I agree. I was thinking the same thing when I was playing around with it yesterday. I was thinking, man, it would be awesome to have this on the PSP version as well. And they announced they're not going to do DLC anymore. I'm sure they're not going to be building a nice web page for it.
no, and I know that the back end is totally different. The platform is totally different. It's not. So unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen. But that's conjecture. So maybe they'll surprise us. I don't know. So next section is community creations, and what we're going to do is we've Pooh and I have kind of agreed on one level that we're both going to talk about from the community. That
maybe I'll keep things shorter since we're only doing one level instead of chatting about two.
That's right. And I think because hey, we can stretch anything out as far as we're proven that we're pretty good at that. So so the level we picked is. So you say his name differently than I say it. So how do you say it?
I say Shinon.
Xenon. I say Xenon.
And it's probably Xenon because I should know better than pronouncing it the way I do. You know why I pronounced it that way? Is because I was living in China when I started hanging out with them, and
you know what? that was going to be my guess. I was actually going to ask you that. In which case, you may be correct. I have no idea.
Well, I don't know correct or not because the town I lived near before I moved to China and started moving all over the country for fun was started with an X, and it was pronounced Z, so it probably is supposed to be Z, but I guess I just got so used to pronouncing my X's as from being in China that I just made it that way. I don't know. It's a kind of a strange word, so I guess either way.
You're right, yeah. So it's XENONHMW is the PSN. And that is the first level by Xenon is Trials of the Treasure God. And that is one heck of an impossibly difficult level.
I remember
one heck of a hard level.
Someone put it on LittleBigPlanet Central. Someone put it in the recommended levels list.
Mm-hmm.
And then he came to the site because somehow they got a hold of him. And then he made a level post, and nobody really replied to him, and I found him a week later, and nobody had said anything. So I went and played it, and there was so much potential in the level, just the structure of it, where you have, I forget how many challenges, but he had 6 or 7 different challenges where you go to a different area of this temple, and you can unlock different stuff. There's secrets, but maybe 3 of the challenges were hard, and then the other 3 or 4 were just basically impossible. So I wrote him probably more feedback than I've ever written anyone because I saw the potential and I saw where he was trying to go, but he was filling the level with cheap kills, and there were a few technical issues where I remember at one point in the level there was an elevator that you grabbed. So you jumped up and grabbed a bar that had grabbable material on it, and then it started going down, and it was one of those sections in a level where you have to go left and right to dodge the gas or fire or whatever he was using. And the way he had it was when you let go, it starts going up again. So as you're trying to swing along it to get out of the way, the elevator's moving away from you. So it's already challenging to ever do a ceiling climb, not as hard as it is on PS3. But when the ceiling's moving away from you whenever you let go, it was, rip my hair out aggravating. I spent an hour on that part alone. So
yeah. I agree, and the thing is he's into kind of more hardcore gaming, right? Which is a category in itself, and there's a lot of people that are into it. And I'm kind of pretty well known for not being into it at all because I'm just kind of a wimp. I'll give it 30 seconds, and if I can't do it, I'm I'm going to move on. And I assume that's how everybody plays the game.
The whole hardcore game thing is, we already talked about levels that are the hardest level ever type of things, and how that was kind of a pet peeve of us. But it's really tough to say that was a thing for a hardcore gamer, because when a mechanic makes it so the elevator moves away from you as you're swinging, I would lean more towards that's broken just because he's still learning how to. Shinon's or Xenon or whatever, he's awesome now, and he was awesome back then. I think he still had a few kinks to work out in figuring out how the tech worked, and I actually think that was